All right, I see you guys. Welcome. Good morning. If you're just jumping in, let's jump in the chat right away. I'd love to see who's here and have you guys have an opportunity to meet one another and make some new connections today. So in the chat, let us know where you're from, what your boutique name is, what you sell in your retail business would also be awesome to know. And let's get started meeting some people. I'm sure we've got some familiar faces here today, whether you're from Retail Boot Camp, whether you listen to the Hub podcast, whether you are a part of our membership. I know many of you here are members of the Hub. So let's see who's here. I already see some familiar faces from the Boutique Summit as well. We're all still reeling from getting back home from the Boutique Summit last week. Mary, I see you. Nikki, Abigail. Nice to see you guys again. All right, who is here? I see
I see Beth here. Hey, Beth in Outer Banks. Hey, girl. Good to see you.
Ooh, I see a Winona, Minnesota in my backyard right there. I see some locals. That's awesome. Notice I didn't say Minnesota. It was we're not even going to get into accents today. I'm sorry. We won't go down that road. Not at all. All right. Very good. Well, so happy you guys could join us today. I know lots of you will still be jumping in, so please keep introducing yourself if you just jump in today. It's going to be an awesome couple of days. Congrats on it being a Monday morning and you deciding to invest your time this morning into making yourself even better. This is one of our favorite trainings that we do at the Hub all year long. Typically in the J months, we're like, how can we make this J month the best opportunity possible, right? Athletes train in the off season. And for some of you, J months might be great. Maybe you're in a resort area, maybe you've got a lot of tourists, but traditionally in retail, J months can be a little bit rough. So we have a series in January called Best Year Yet that we kick off the year strong together in the same format. And then every summer we do summer school where we're really trying to help you just invest back, train yourself in your business and make the most of this off season that we're in right now. So we've got tons of stuff to share over the next couple of days, some amazing presenters over the next couple of days. And I definitely want to get started because we've got lots to cover. So first things first, if we haven't had a chance to meet yet, my name's Ashley Alderson. I'm the founder here at the Boutique Hub. This is our 11th year in business coming up in July. It's a long time. We've seen a lot of ups and downs in this industry, a lot of amazing surge before COVID, and then we saw what happened during COVID to many of your businesses, and now kind of this new generation of retail and what's happening right now. My passion at the Boutique Hub not only is just seeing you guys as small business owners grow your business, because I know that changes not only your life as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, but also the generations of your family and the people that you employ and the community that you surround yourself with. So I'm very passionate about small business development, always have been. And along with that, I really love marketing. So today is right up my alley. And I can't wait to dig into all the details today with you. But I've got two other amazing guests here with me today. Our co-host for today also is very passionate about marketing. We call him the marketing unicorn. Many of you maybe have had a chance to get to know him already, whether it's your Retail Bootcamp or Boutique Black, or you saw him at the Boutique Summit last week. But Jeff Fenn, do you want to introduce yourself today?
Yeah, sure. Hey guys, welcome everybody. Just a quick just a quick intro here. Like as we all know, the boutique and the retail space is changing. Like a lot of stuff is kind of up in the air. A lot of things is churning over, and so we love this training so much just because we have the opportunity to get this community up to date on some of the strategies that are working and where to tap into your metrics and where to see your scoreboard and how to see where things are going. And so I just want to share some of that stuff with you that we've seen inside Retail Bootcamp, the wins that we've had come out of there, the successes that we've seen retail bootcamp students go from there into Boutique Black. And so can't wait to show you guys some of that stuff today.
All right, we've got a third coach joining us this week. Sara, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey guys, this is a pleasure for me to be here. I look forward to this session every summer. A little bit about me. I see a lot of familiar faces here, but for those of you guys that don't know me, I'm the Director of Education here at the Boutique Hub. I owned a store for many, many years. I started in retail way back in the early 1990s, and it's all the things, brick and mortar, space, multiple location, took the store online. I've taught entrepreneurship at the university, coached also at a collegiate level, and I personally geek out about sales strategy, inventory management, team management, all of those things, all the multitasking of a business owner. So I've walked in your shoes, and I can empathize with you and relate to you and all the things. And one of my biggest passions coming here to the Boutique Hub to help out with education is just awareness and being more of the eyes and the ears in the industry, because I know you guys so many times are, head down in your day-to-day business, trying to make ends meet, trying to, come up with the next best thing. And, it's hard sometimes to, where do you lean to get knowledge? Who can you trust with asking questions? And I love the Boutique Hub because of that. I love the fact that, you guys might be fixing a jammed up printer or ordering inventory, or trying to convince somebody, a staff member to actually come in when they're on staff, or plowing snow in the winter, pulling weeds out of your sidewalks in the summer, all the things that business owners do. I get that. And on top of that, guess what? You got to make money. You got to make sales. You got to do all these things. So I've walked in your shoes, and I see where you guys are at, and I love being able to come to you as an open book to talk through those things with you that really make a difference in the bottom line in your business, and helping you guys delegate some of those tasks that are just not meant for you as the business owner to do. So we're going to tie all that stuff together, all the marketing here on day one. I get to geek out all of our inventory and turn rate and replenishing products tomorrow, and then diving in on all of the CEO mindset, the leadership stuff on the third day. So empowering you guys to really take control of your businesses. So I'm pumped. I love being here, you guys. As if you ever need anything, please just don't hesitate to reach out.
I love that. One of the biggest lessons, I don't know about you guys, that I feel like my parents ever taught me was, when it comes to business, it's not what you know, but it's who you know. And I think when you know Sara Burks, you've got a huge resource in your pocket. And that's one of the things I love most about this community here at the Hub. We've got Sara, we've got Jeff, we've got Nicole and Scarlett, and all these amazing people with all kinds of expertise on our team who you guys can reach out to anytime. But even beyond that, you guys have one another. And there's just so much power in community over competition, in the way that you guys can really lean on one another in the good times and in the bad. And that's what this community is all about. How can we help one another? A rising tide lifts all ships, right? If one person in this industry can figure out, hey, this is working, even when the algorithm isn't, and share that, man, that's just a greater opportunity for everybody to get the word out about small businesses and what we're all capable of. So please lean on one another. And as we get started, let's just start here. I'd love to see in the chat, you guys, what's the greatest opportunity that you have in your business right now? Like, what are you gearing up for that you're really excited about? And then what's one challenge that you're working on overcoming right now? I think it'd be a really fun exercise just to see all the similarities that you're going to find here in the chat today. And I know from our coaching standpoint, we want to make sure we hit on a lot of these opportunities and these challenges as we go along. So drop that in the chat. What's your biggest opportunity you're facing right now? And what's one big challenge you're facing right now? Let's hear it from you guys. Social media views, I see that. Trying to drive traffic. My business is brand new. Congratulations. Vendor events. Gearing up for fourth quarter. We're definitely going to hit on that. More followers, more purchases.
Yeah, employees.
Managing inventory. Show me the money, right? So many of these things. So many of these things are common, you guys. It's so good. Burnout. That's also common. Get ready for day 3. We're going to hit on that for sure. And I see such a good combination of new and old, experienced. I won't call anyone old, but experienced boutique owners here. All right, well, let's dig into it, you guys. Let's get started. So here's the lay of the land for the next couple of days. Couple things. When you come in, just especially if you aren't familiar with Zoom, make sure you stay muted so that we don't have some random interruptions. If you come in on your cell phone between now and Wednesday, cell phones do not automatically mute. So just be aware when you join a Zoom meeting from your cell phone, please take the time to physically mute yourself. That we've seen a couple people get in trouble with that. Don't take your phone to the bathroom, right? Engage and ask questions in the chat. Our team's here to help. We're here. We want to make this as engaging as possible. We're going to do lots of Q&A at the end of these sessions. They'll run about an hour to an hour and a half. If there's a lot of questions, we love just to make sure you guys have them answered. So we may stay on a little longer, just depending on what's happening that day. Use your reactions. When we do some Q&A, there's a little hand raise tool. So please use that. Be sure to take some notes, turn on your camera. We want to see your faces, and let's dig into it. So the goal for summer school is always to supercharge your J months in retail, right? To help you keep kind of that steady flow of traffic, that steady flow of sales, and more importantly, a steady flow of profitability in your business, right? You've got to really dig down on that profitability part when it's a little bit slower in a J month, because that's what really gets you ready for the third and fourth quarter, the two best quarters in retail. So we're going to prep you for all those really busy times right now. So today we wanted to start with just focusing on the traffic, right? Driving that traffic through your door and onto your website is going to be the main focus for what we're working on today. And again, when we think about J months, I'm curious how many of you feel like this is a J month, if you're like, you know what, this is not a J month for me. I'm actually crushing it. When we think about J months, this is why summer school becomes so important in our eyes for you. Is during the slow season, this is when athletes train, right? Athletes train in the off season. So what does that mean in a J month? It means this is the time we double down and we're preparing for growth. We're doing all the foundational work. We're rebuilding the foundation. We're going back to our SOPs. We're going back to just making sure we're ready for what's possible in the third and fourth quarter. Secondary, this is also the time for team training. If you have a staff, one of the biggest liabilities you have on your books is untrained and underutilized staff, where the opposite of that is the biggest asset you can have on your books is highly trained and motivated and encouraged and optimized staff. So the J months are the time to really double down on team training if you happen to have a team. And then beyond that, I think a lot of times there's a tendency in a J month to only focus on what's not working, right? Why is this a J month? Why is nobody buying? Why is there no traffic? But what if we just flipped our mindset and instead focused on, well, what is working? Right? Where is the traffic coming from? Who are my ideal customers? What inventory is moving? There's a lot more fruit in focusing on what is working than dwelling on what isn't working. And that's why you're here today, right? To invest in yourself and invest in the time to figure out what is working so that we can do more of that very thing. So here's my thoughts on this entire traffic conversation. I'd love to know, just as an example, where's your summer road trip this summer? Anyone taking a summer road trip? You can tell me in the chat. Anyone taking a summer road trip? You're driving somewhere with the training this summer, or with the training, with the family. Training's on my mind. Where are you driving to this summer? I can't stand driving either. Whoever said that, yeah, we'll fly there. You got it. With 3 kids in it, I'd rather fly too. All right, lots. Oh, Banff. Oh my gosh, that was definitely on our list. I see you. All right, so when you're thinking about this summer road trip that you're going on, you guys, imagine this. Imagine if you're going on this summer road trip and you don't know, you're getting in your car and you don't know how many miles it is between where you are and where you're going. Would you ever do that? No. Would you get in your car and go on the summer road trip and not have Google Maps or some method of figuring out where you're going? Would you ever get in your car without that tool, that resource? Remember MapQuest back in the day and you had to print off like 45 pages of turn-by-turn directions. And if you missed one, you were just totally screwed, right? Thank God we don't have to do that anymore, right? You would never get in your car and do that. You would never get in the road trip and go, okay, where am I going? How many miles is it? Where's my map? And then what if you got in your car to leave on your road trip and you didn't have a gas gauge? Like you didn't know if there was gas in the tank. You didn't know how much gas you had at any time. You're just kind of winging it. You don't know if you can get there or not, right? So when I think about this idea of your summer road trip, like we would never be unprepared in that way. But a lot of times in our business, we approach sales in this very manner. We say, here's our sales goal. Here's where we're going, right? Oh, hope the algorithm works this week. I hope that random Instagram post I put up on Thursday drives me some traffic. But we don't really look to see, well, do we have a gas gauge? Are we tracking what's working? Do we know, what is our baseline for traffic? Where is it coming from? What's our conversion rate per channel? Like, do we have a gauge telling us that? I'm curious, raise your hand or tell me in the chat, yeah, I've got a gauge. Or when you look at your sales and you say, here's where I am versus where I need to be, do I have a map of how I'm going to drive more traffic in order to get there? Or am I just saying, gosh, I hope I maybe send a couple more emails and I'll get a little more traffic this week. Or maybe I'll try a Facebook ad, or maybe I'll go to an event and maybe that'll get me a little bit more traffic this week. But I truly don't know how many miles, what is the separation, and how am I going to get there? What's the map, right? So forever forward, I want you to equate your sales to that summer road trip. You have to have enough gas in the tank and a map and a plan and know the miles in order to get there. And that's what we're going to focus on today. What is that going to look like today? So the first thing I want to dive into is, well, what's your gas gauge? How do you know where you are and where you need to go? And Jeff, I know this is something that you talk a lot about to our community, is just understanding Google Analytics and understanding what is the tracking that can really get us there. So Jeff, do you want to talk
Yes.
about Google Analytics?
Let's talk about it. How many of you guys, just in the chat, if you could just chime in on the chat, how many of you guys are 100% comfortable that your Google Analytics 4 tag is installed correctly, tracking correctly? You know how to get into Google Analytics 4 and get to the report section to see who's visiting your page, how many people are visiting your page, how many of those people are from your local town. Like if you're a brick and mortar, how many of those are visiting your web page or requesting directions to your store? Or how many of those people nationally are checking out your new arrivals page? How many of you guys are like super confident on that? So if I pulled up your page right now, we could review it in front of everybody and brag on your progress. I'm not seeing a whole lot of bring up my pages. Just anybody who wants to share their Google Analytics page, just we'll do it. I'm just joking. Okay, so here's the thing: is I've noticed one thing in Retail Bootcamp and in Boutique Hub Black, and the one thing is the difference between boutiques that have a gigantic opportunity to scale and sell nationally and bring in more local shoppers into their store. They have a very good grasp on their metrics. They have a very clear picture of what their number one performing page is, what the age of their average store visitor or their average website visitor is, you know, where they come, what they search, what products they view, how long they stay on their page. And all of those functions exist in one handy dandy platform called Google Analytics. But inside the retail space, it's intimidating. And I think the intimidation starts with the acknowledgments that you have to share with Google in order to allow them to collect enough information to be able to give that dashboard back to you, to be able to tell you, you know, who your visitor is, where they came from, what page they visited, and then also installing the Google tag on your page. And so there are several trainings inside of the Boutique Hub training library and across the Facebook page that I've done. There's even more in Retail Bootcamp, and there's like, we blow it completely out of the water in Boutique Hub Black, but like those trainings exist all across the Boutique Hub, and just don't get intimidated. Don't get stumped up by those first initial steps. I see comments in the Boutique Hub all the time that are like, man, Google wants to track my user data. Is that safe? Should I do that? Well, all they're tracking is what page the person came from, how long they spent on your page, what page on your site they visited, if they visited if they looked at a product, what product was that? Did they add that product to their cart? Did they begin checkout? Did they complete checkout? And those are your metrics. Like, that's the customer journey that you want to track. And I'll go through it again. So, did I get a web page visitor? Were they new or were they repeating? That's the very first thing Google tracks. What page did that person view? Was there a product on that page? If so, what product was it? Did that person add the product? Did the person add that product to their cart? If they did, great. Did that person begin checkout? Did that person complete checkout? And then Google actually tracks one more thing, which is really cool, is did that person ever come back and repurchase? That's it. That's the customer journey Google Analytics tracks. I'm going to share my screen real quick and show you inside Google Analytics where that report screen exists. So let me jump in there real quick. Okay, so this is a Google Analytics screen. This boutique happens to get 3,700 organic visitors per month, free visitors. And when you come into Google Analytics, you'll be able to see right up here at the top if it has a GA4, so like your boutique name and then GA4, That's the updated version. And so if you come in here and there's no data right here in the front screen, your tag is not installed. Your Google tag is not installed on your website. And so that's, you'd want to find the training on how to install that tag. But the guts of the information is recorded right here in this reports tab. And so when you come in here, this gives you all the data. This gives you all the data that you're looking for. And typically up here in the top right-hand corner, you would look at this on a 30-day cycle. And so you'd set that on a 30-day cycle, and you'd want to say, and then you back calculate. And I know Ashley will go over the traffic formula here in a little bit, but this gives you a solid baseline of where to back calculate from. So I had 17,000 visitors. Those 17,000 visitors produced $12,000 in organic or in online sales. And so you can back calculate right from there okay, that's good. And then like you say, oh man, the average person only spent 39 seconds on my page. What the hell? Like, why did they only spend 39 seconds on my page? Like, how do I increase that time? How do I make my page more engaging? How do I introduce myself to my audience better before I send them to their page? So when they get there, they already know me a little bit and they spend more time with me. It's like in that situation, a brick and mortar store and an online store is not that much different. Like if a customer walked in your door and neither you or none of your employees said a word to them, and you guys just kind of stood around the outside of the store and stared at them the entire time and never introduced yourself, they would leave pretty quick. It would be pretty awkward and it would not be fun. Well, that's what we do online. A lot of times we never introduce ourselves. We never introduce our brand. We just put up a photo of a piece of clothing and expect people to come to the store and buy it. Well, it's not going to happen. We have to get our personality, our brand, our lifestyle, all of that stuff in front of the shopper online as well first before we send them to our page so that we can introduce themselves. Anyway, so this tells you how many visitors you had, how long they spent on your page, what the dollar amount you made was. And then this one's really cool. And so organic social. So did your social post get picked up by Google search? Like are the posts that you're making on Facebook and Instagram, are they being picked up by Google as featured sites? Like, is Google saying, oh yeah, obviously Jeff knows about leopard pants. We're going to feature his Facebook posts about velvet leopard pants that also come in zip-off shorts for summertime. We're going to feature all that. For those of you guys who don't know the joke, you'll get it eventually. And so, like organic search, like, so how much organic search did you have? How many keywords did you have on your page that got picked up by Google? How many people typed in your website directly? How many people said, I want to visit this boutique, www.thesaltybabe.com. Like, how many people know you directly? How many people are coming to your page every 7 days to see your new arrivals? Like, those are the people you want. And actually that hints right on this chart right over here. So like, how many people are checking in every single day? These people are addicted to your brand. How many people are coming back every day? The bigger you can build this number, the more successful you'll be. How many people are checking in once a week? These are your new arrival shoppers. These are the people going, man, did Sara launch a new collection this week? I want to make sure I didn't miss it. And then every 30 days, this is where the majority of your traffic is going to be, but you want to do what you can to migrate these people from 30-day shoppers to 7-day shoppers. Mm-hmm. And then paid social, how much traffic are you getting from ads? Unassigned is kind of like Google can't figure out where they came from, which is fine. But these are the big four: organic social, organic search, direct traffic, and paid social. And so then it breaks down, what page did they view? So like, did they view your activewear page? Did they view your bikini page? Did they view your Levi page? Did they come to your swimwear collection page? Did they view your beach accessory bag page? Like, what page did they come on? And then when you get ready to reorder or next season, you can come back and you can say, what was my most popular page last June? And you go back and go, oh, you would think it would be swim, but as a matter of fact, it wasn't. It was the activewear. And so I'm going to order deeper into activewear because I knew last summer that produced a ton of traffic and sales. And this provides you with an ongoing dashboard of all the metrics on each of your pages. And when you can click into these two and get even more detail. And we're just going to go over the overview today. But the next one up is, how many of each type of event did you have? So like in this one's usually pretty eye-opening for people. It's like, let's expand this one real quick. And so like here, how many total page views did we have? We had 45,000 page views. How many user engagements did we have? So these are like button clicks and scrolls and things. How many total items were viewed? So look at this. So we had 45,000 page views, but only 24,000 items. You have to ask yourself, why did that happen? Like, were they not able to find the item that they wanted? And so this raises some interesting questions. How many first-time visitors did we have? We had 16,000 new customers. How many people used our search function? 3,753. How many people added to cart? Only 1,517. So of the total number of page views, 45,000, we dropped clear to 1,517 people actually added to cart. 365 of those actually began checkout, and only 147 completed their checkout. And so like, as you guys can see, once you get the metrics in place, once you get the dashboard in place, once you get your map outlined, you can start to ask yourself, okay, here's our baseline. We've averaged this percentage of completed purchases over the last 3 months. Let's start launching some experiments on how to improve that. Let's start to reach, let's start to put testimonials on the checkout page, or increase our page load speed, or whatever the case may be. But let's start to launch some experiments on how to improve that, and then you just improve on it chunk by chunk by chunk by chunk. But at least you have your metrics, you have your speedometer, you have your traffic source, you have the what pages are the most popular, and you have a baseline to build off of.
So helpful. Is that helpful, you guys? Let me know in the chat. I always love getting to dig into all those pieces. All right, let's go back here. All right, so Google Analytics, obviously, if you are an online business, no matter what you sell, like that's your gauges, but that's also going to give you the outline to your map. I know several of you here are also brick and mortar. So what does that look like for you? I know many of you, let me know in the chat, do you have a door counter, or are you empowering your staff to just take tally marks and understand how many people are actually coming through your door on a regular basis? From that kind of general traffic number, then when it comes to actual checkouts and repeat purchases and understanding your VIP customers, no matter what your point of sale is, whether it's Shopify or Square or whatever you're using in store, you've got the rest of that data. You've got the rest of your gauges there from your in-store point of sale system. So I think the first question just really has to be, who's in charge of tracking the data? And what's the cadence that we're going to track it at, so we have real-time gauges that we can really rely on? We also kind of look at this the same way when it comes to social and organic tracking. So Shannon from our team, who's our social media guru, sent this to me this morning. And ever since the beginning of the boutique up 11 years ago, I personally have been tracking this. Like, we started a tracking sheet that long ago, back when Beth was an intern, way back when. And we started to track what was the performance like on social. What was working on Facebook? As you can see, Facebook follows, Facebook reach, Facebook engagement, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok. Where is the growth happening? Where is the engagement happening? Because only a tracked number grows. And we have to understand what traffic is the most valuable coming into our business. I did have this, Shannon sent me this link and said I could share it with you guys today. Can you still see my screen? Did I jump over to this Instagram tracking sheet? Sweet. All right, so I'm going to send this out to you guys when we send out the reply today, because all of you signed up to be here. You're going to get the reply of today's training in your email. I'm going to send this out. This is a specific Instagram tracking sheet that you're welcome to share, use with your staff, however you want to, put this into play in your business. You can add on Facebook and Pinterest and whatever else you want in the other tabs. But I'm going to send you this link, and then Jeff, I think we have a Loom video from you in the membership training library on installing GA4.
Yeah. Yep.
We've got that. So I'll send that out with everybody else as well. So everyone has access to see that as well in today's replay. All right, let's go back here. Oh, this is a problem with sharing your screen. I can't find the top of it. Where are we at? There we go. All right. So that's how we're going to get all of our gauges, all the tracking, whether it's Google Analytics, our store door counter, or our tracking sheet. But again, sales don't tell the number, and that's why we're looking at these gauges. Sales are a lagging indicator. They tell us what already happened, right? If we're celebrating, oh, it was a great month of May, we're looking at sales, but that's already behind. That doesn't tell us what's more likely to happen in June and July, does it? So it's all these tracking numbers that are the leading indicators that lead us up to what might happen in June and July. So if we get into, July 15th, we get down the road and we say, you know what? I only have half the traffic that I have projected myself to have this month. I can tell there's going to be a problem with sales, right? I can get ahead of the problem before it starts. That's my gauges that are going to give me the map where I need to go. So how do I really double down into what the rest of the story is going to be? What's going to give me my leading indicator? How many of you guys here were at Boutique Summit? I know I dove into this a little bit at Boutique Summit as well, but in case you don't already have this, it's like I can't talk about this enough because not enough retailers have this part of the map, and that's the boutique traffic formula. And that's just looking at how much traffic do I need at what average order value and what conversion rate in order to meet my sales goal. So what are all the leading indicators that lead me to that sales number at the end of the day? That get me to Banff, that get me to Yellowstone. What's actually going to get me there, all these pit stops along the way. So feel free to screenshot this, but I would love to see you guys as homework today. Go back and run this formula for yourself and come back and report to me in the comments what you found. To me, this is so exciting and so empowering when you know these numbers. So here's how it works. We've got our sales goal. Let's just say it's $50,000 this month. So it's your sales goal in this time period, divided by your average order value. So this is a really important number, this average order value. And that's going to give you your transactions that you need in that time period. You can imagine if that average order value fluctuates, if it goes up to $80, your transactions needed is actually going to drop, right? I'm going to show you that example in just a minute. So once you have how many transactions I need in this time period, I'll divide it by my conversion rate. Now, if you're in store, your conversion rate might be 30, 40, 50, 60%, right? But you're only going to know that if you know first by your door counter how many people are coming in the door compared to how many people are buying. That's going to give you your conversion rate. If you go back to Google Analytics and you're an online store, similarly, you're going to see, well, how much traffic did I have versus how many people bought? Online, your conversion rate might be 2%, might be 3%. Jeff, I'm curious what you see. That's kind of the industry standard is 2-3%, depending on if you're running ads, right?
Well, just one thing to keep in mind with conversions is as you're building out your traffic sources, as you increase traffic, conversion goes down. And so the more traffic experiments you have going, which is a good thing. So like I'm trying out Google ads and I'm trying out Facebook ads and I'm trying out organic traffic and I'm trying out these keywords and I'm trying out these blog posts and all these different traffic sources. As we're experimenting with those things, we're going to bring in huge amounts of traffic, but our conversion rate will actually decrease because of that, because not all of those people are qualified buyers. So I think a lot of times people think, man, I'm doing every single thing I can. I'm trying to find all these different traffic sources. I'm running ads. I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and my conversion rate keeps going down, and it's frustrating. But like just keep in mind, like running those traffic experiments, like getting as many poles in the water as you possibly can, is the right thing to do. And so like, even though the industry standard is 2 to 3%, like even though that is the industry standard, that is not for, people that have got every single fishing pole in the water trying to find as many traffic sources as they can. Those people have already refined those sources. Those like are, your real goal, especially if you're just starting out or if you're in need of traffic volume right now, the goal is to get as many fishing poles in the water as you can, get as much traffic on the page, and understand that your conversion rate will suffer, but your total sales will go up. And so I just like to point that out because it's a source of frustration for many business owners. But just remember, the right thing to do is experiment.
Yeah. Oh, so good. So good. All right. So boutique traffic formula. You guys have this, you got a screenshot of it, and you're going to come back with it tomorrow, right? All right, let's look at a little experiment with this formula specifically. So just to show you how important it is to pull these different levers in the formula, like Jeff said, in order to get that traffic through the door. So if my sales goal is 50,000, and again, my average order value is $60, that's 833 transactions that I need in order to hit that goal. If I take those transactions divided by 30%, let's just say you've got a storefront, it's in a mall, there's a lot of walk-through traffic, so only 30% of people are converting, which is pretty low. That's going to give me 2,776 people that I need to come through the door physically in order to hit these numbers. Well, if I just focused on not sales, but if I focused on average order value, and I'm going to talk in detail about how to do that in a second, and I bumped it up to $80, that lowers the transactions I need down to 625. Sounds easier, right? Well, imagine if I lower the transactions I need, and then I optimize and I train my staff at how to better close and convert the people that are coming through my door. Maybe I merchandise a little bit better and solve people's problems versus just showing them products. And I increase my conversion from 30 to 40%. Wow, now I only need 1,500 people. So it's over 1,000 people less that I need to get through my door in order to hit this $50,000 sales goal. To me, that's the most exciting part of marketing, is because this is my map. This is my plan. And now I can look at this number and say, all right, well, how am I going to get there? Well, if I need 1,500 people, all right, if I host in-store events, right, and I can get 100 people per event, let's just say for easy math, and I do it 4 times a month, that's 400 people through my door right there. If I average 30 people through the door on a regular day, that's 25 people, that's 750 people right there. I'm already at 1,100 total people through the door. If I add on Facebook ads, let's say, and I start with whatever Jeff recommends to me, and I get 100 new people a week, it's 400 more people right there. And now I start to leverage email and text marketing, and let's say I'm bumping it up to 8 emails, right? I've got 400 more people coming there. If I get 50 people per email and I send out 8 emails this month, that's 400 more people. So total, I'm at 1,950 people that converted from all these sources. Again, this is the map. Then I can empower my staff and optimize them to say, okay, Sarah, you focus on emails and text. Beth, you plan events and parties like no other to get people through the door. Like, everyone has a goal that they're accountable to, because this is where sales come from. These are all the leading indicators that get us to sales at the end of the day. So to focus and measure traffic, we have to first focus on conversion and average order value. These are the 3 biggest metrics when it comes to traffic and getting people through the door. So how do we do that? Just a little bit deeper. If I want to focus on average order value, and Sarah, I know you can jump in on this anytime, merchandising to me is the #1 way to focus on average order value. By layering pieces together, if I have a home decor boutique, I'm solving people's problems by Father's Day, by graduations, by holidays and themes and reasons people are buying gifts, or reasons people are decorating or redecorating, right? Holiday decorating, whatever that might be. If it's beauty, it's by different solutions or age ranges that I'm trying to solve people's problems. But merchandising holds the biggest key to your average order value, and that includes merchandising your photo shoots, right? If I just see your photo shoot and you're in an apparel store and it's just a top and maybe a pair of jeans, that's not exciting. I need to see a top. I need to see it layered with something. Show me a vest, show me a sweater, show me a belt, show me jeans, show me shoes, show me jewelry, show me a little succulent plant, show me a swig mug. Fully merchandise, because you sell what you show. And if you aren't showing enough, you're not going to leave much to sell. So merchandising is critical. With the photo shoots, double critical. Your assortment planning, man, we dig into that. Sarah, I know that's right up your alley. There's a lot of that we cover in Retail Bootcamp. And again, solving problems versus just selling products. If you're emailing me and it's like new arrivals, hey, it's new arrivals, it's pretty boring. I don't get excited about new arrivals. I get excited about new arrivals if I know your brand, and then if I know your new arrivals are going to solve my problem. I'm going to a wedding. What am I going to wear? Show me that collection. I'm going on vacation. What am I going to wear? Show me that vacation, right? Show me something that solves my problems versus just selling me another product. Same with traffic, right? Where's the traffic coming from now? What additional posts or emails can I add in to bump that number up? Just what I showed you on the previous screen. What ads do I need to run to bump that number up? And what channels are truly driving the most traffic right now? So if I'm spending 90% of my time on TikTok, but TikTok really isn't driving me any traffic. Facebook actually is, but it's like my, just leftover, and I'm not really focusing on it. I've got a problem in my marketing team. So if Facebook is most effective and that's where traffic is coming from and it's converting, I better be focusing on it versus just spending too much time on TikTok that's not converting. And then finally, with conversion, things that increase conversion, quality photography. Stock photos do not increase trust, do not increase conversion. Quality photography does. Website optimization by just trust signals, right? Like making sure you've got PayPal and Afterpay and Sezzle or ShopPay, whatever, as a sign of trust. You've got testimonials. You have your about page. You have a Google map listing to your storefront. You've got your storefront hours. You've got all those pieces in place in a well laid out, clean, easy to understand website that says, oh, I know who this person is. They totally get me. This is my vibe. This is my style. I want to look and click into the next page by what I found on page number 1. And then page speed, all the back end metrics of how your website's actually performing also lead to your conversion rate. So these are the things that we can focus on way more than just sales alone.
Ashley, can I add just a couple things?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I just want to go back, like when we were talking about the average order value. And one thing I know there's a lot of people just getting started today, and I'm seeing all the chat, and that's awesome. Congratulations. The one thing I just want to say, you know, as being in the industry for a long time, and I've seen a lot of mistakes being made by business owners, and I have made many of them. There was a time in my business that I wanted to like have affordable prices. And I see so many stores say, I want to be the most affordable place for my friends and my family and people to come shop. Because in our head, we think if we're affordable, which that's a wiggle word, I really don't know what that means. If we asked what affordable was, it'd be all over the board. But nonetheless, we put ourselves in this box. And those numbers that Ashley showed a little bit ago, how much harder do you have to work to bring in that 50K that was the benchmark there if your average order value is, say, $25 versus when she showed you the 60 and the 80. So just as a business owner, I want you to pause and think a little bit. How much time does it take me to bring the product in, source the product, do all the things to make it pretty, to turn around to sell it, then to package it up, take it to the post office, do all the things, and how, like, what is my timestamp on that process? Just put a timestamp on that. And then think, how many times do I have to do that to make that 50K that my family needs me to bring home? Or think back and say, is affordability, like that wiggle word, is that the most important thing? Or is quality the most important thing? Serving the customers the most important thing, right? That I can work a little smarter in my business, right? And not be packing orders all night long to make a really low profit margin, but to work my butt off when I can really concentrate on that AOV. So that's the first thing. The second thing I saw a lot of in, and you guys, it's different for everybody. It's different for everybody, but that's why we'll get into it tomorrow. So please make sure you come back. But that's why your pricing for profit strategy is super important, right? Your markup strategy is super important, what you're sourcing, all of those things. The second thing I wanted to address before we move on is the serving, you know, and really serving that customer and telling that story and solving the problem. I'm going to give an example that's really hot right now because it's summer and we all are buying tank tops, but we hate the bra situation with tank tops. Jeff, just whatever, mute your ears, you don't care. But nonetheless, tank tops and bras, drive us crazy. So what's the big thing right now? The tank tops that have the built-in bra, but that don't have the straps in the back. That solves back fat. It you know, helps you out with all the washing. It helps you out with, like, can't find the right bra for the right tank top. Now I'm standing here, I'm 5 minutes late. My husband's mad because we're running late. And I just wanted to find the dang bra that goes with the tank top, that goes under the shirt, that I can wear, that I feel comfortable in. Well, guess what? Here comes Gina with a solution with the bra built in the tank top, and it comes in 15 colors. And bundle them all up and you're out the door, and happy Father's Day to your spouse, your husband, because you're not late anymore. Happy Mother's Day to you. You rah, everybody wins. It's a tank top. No, it's not a tank top. It's a problem solver. So that's the example that I wanted to give you guys. And when you think about your problems that way, you sell stuff. That's that increase in AOV. If you think about it as a tank top, you're going to sit there with a crap ton of tank tops that just aren't selling. That's how you start the conversation.
Are we dropping the mic now? Do we even need the rest of the session today, you guys? I think Actually, I think we're done. We're just gonna wrap up. We're gonna leave it right there because you just solved all the world's problems, back fat included. I mean,
Back fat, that's a thing.
it is a thing. It is a
It is a
thing.
thing.
Oh, good. Sara Burks, I say this all the time in retail boot camp, and those of you who've been in it, you know, she's the most analogous person I've ever met. Like there's a story for everything, and it always makes so much sense. Kudos on that.
I wanted to add
Myself
one more
now.
thing. I wanted to add one more thing. It's not about bras or back fat, but
Boring.
but the on that previous slide, Ashley, you had what ads are working. And so like I know there's a bunch of brick and mortar stores on here, and I think a lot of times we think about traffic as online traffic only. And I do want to just take a second and just point out that there are valuable traffic generators, ads that will drive traffic through your door. And so like if your metric is to get feet through your door, Google Ads is a very powerful quality source of traffic for people calling your store and requesting directions to your store that will put people directly through your door, whether they're looking for a tank top with a built-in bra or not. And so they, I can actually share an example real quick to show you how powerful this can be. Let me share my screen real quick, just real fast here.
Yep.
And then I just want to show you this. This is a retail bootcamp student. She's been through retail bootcamp. She's always a huge participant semester after semester after semester. So this, let me see what date range this is. This is a local foot traffic campaign. So the goal of this campaign is to get people to either call or walk through the door, request directions directly to her store. So this is May 1st through June 17th, so a little over a month. And in that amount of time, she has had 510 people request directions to her store. And so I show you this just so that you can realize that for $4.86, you can get a person in their car on their phone requesting directions to your store. So if you're a brick and mortar store and you need traffic through the door, don't forget about Google local traffic ads. It's the only platform on the internet that allows that because they own Google Maps. But just if you're needing quality traffic through your store that you know that there's a really high likelihood that they're actually walking through after they request directions, don't forget about Google Maps.
Solid, so good. All right, I'm going to jump on past that screen. All right, so again, going back to this idea of we've got the map, we've got the traffic plan, and we've got this data, we've got these gauges. Most important thing to do with these is just ask why 5 times when it comes to looking at this data, right? And maybe it's not just you doing it. Again, maybe you've got a team that's helping you kind of dig into this data. It can feel a little bit overwhelming. Just pick one number, but just ask why 5 times with that number, whether it's when sales are lower, when traffic is lower, when your average order value is lower, or when some of your VIP customers aren't buying. How can we dig in and start to run some tests and really analyze what those numbers are telling us so that we can grow some traffic from each of those sources? All right, so we've talked about the map. Let's talk about organic traffic plans, and I'll kind of breeze through this quickly because Jeff, I know you've got a lot of examples you want to share here shortly. But when it comes to where's the traffic going to come from, we know we need those 2,000 people to come through the door, to come onto the website. Let's talk about how are we going to do it organically. And then next, we're going to talk about how we're going to do it with paid traffic as well. So if I was going to come into your store and we were going to lay out a marketing plan together, this is probably where I would start. I would say, all right, let's pull out your planner. And for the next quarter, we're just going to high level map 3 layers deep what you're going to be marketing in your business. First layer is this events and holidays. I would just pull open like a random calendar page. And I would say, start by just circling what are the biggest events and holidays coming up this quarter. Right? So you got Father's Day, you got 4th of July, you've got some kind of Christmas in July event that you're planning, right? You've got what other holidays are coming up in June and July that you've got mapped out. Maybe it's your store's anniversary. Maybe your downtown is hosting like some kind of summer fair, or you've got some big online promotion that you're wanting to host. So just circle those dates, right? Take 30 seconds with a pencil and circle those dates. The second layer you're going to do for the next quarter is just start to work your way backwards. You're going to take by each of those dates. So by Father's Day, right? I would say, all right, when do my emails need to go out promoting Father's Day? When do my Facebook Lives need to happen promoting Father's Day? When do the photo shoots need to happen? Or maybe they already happen on a cadence for you, but do I need some summer specific photo shoots in my business? If I maybe don't feel like I'm at the level where I have a weekly or, bi-monthly, whatever photo shoot, I at least have to have it seasonally to keep my marketing content looking fresh. So when is that? When are the collections I'm going to put together, right? Or the marketing, like the vignettes in my store, my displays. So if I think about collections, I think of, man, there's 52 weeks in a year. What are 52 different reasons my customer would want to buy from me? What are 52 different problems I could solve for my customer? Maybe you're not focusing on a collection a week, so divide that in half. So how many collections could I come up with every 2 weeks just to focus on one collection? And I would write that in. Like, this is my back to school season. This is my game day season, whatever that might look like. Next would be my events. So are there events in store I'm hosting, or is it a Facebook event that I'm creating? And then what collaborations with other local businesses or other online businesses could I host in this time period to boost up the traffic for this season? So that's layer 2. And again, in pencil, I would quickly kind of jot what are the dates that I need to do all these things. And then layer 3, if I looked at your calendar, I would just say, all right, what's my weekly plan? If you've been through boot camp, many of you have your 6 essential pieces of content. Where does that typically fall for me? So I go live on Thursdays. I launch new arrivals on Mondays and Wednesdays. I typically do this type of content on this particular. And I just start to map those things out in pencil, high level on my calendar. If I can do that, seriously, taking like 30 minutes, it should be very fast in order to do these 3 layers. I have an entire marketing plan for the quarter, which allows me to come in on a Monday and just batch create all this and dig a little bit deeper. Especially if I know, okay, every email I send gets this much traffic. My organic content on Facebook with this number of posts typically gets this much traffic. I can do the math and say, all right, with everything I have planned in the next week or in the next month, is that going to, on average, equate the amount of traffic I need to fit into my boutique traffic formula? And then I can adjust accordingly. Or let's say I've got everything batched and planned and I get to Wednesday and I'm like, oh crap, I'm not even 50% of the way there to my traffic goal for the week. I better do something. I better throw in another Facebook Live. I better adjust my Facebook ads. I better go Instagram Live or do something else with, a promotion or a giveaway to boost that traffic number back up. That way we're approaching all of our marketing with so much intentionality that we can get the outcome that we want versus, again, just throwing up a post on a random Tuesday and hoping that it's going to convert on Instagram. All right, so that's organic. Jeff, why don't you talk about paid strategy?
Yeah. So, Ashley touched on this a lot. And so the real key to success in paid strategy is kind of doubling down right now. It's getting multiple effects, multiple traffic streams from one paid campaign. And inside Retail Bootcamp, I know that we train on this, and inside Boutique of Black, we train on this a lot. But one example I just showed was local traffic campaigns from Google. So like I said, Google is the only platform on the internet that allows you to drive local traffic. If you're in need of local traffic, if you're not 100% sure that your local market knows about your store, that's how you make sure that they know. I just finished with this marketing training last week, and they ran their entire marketing firm with one assumption. And their assumption was, assume not a single one of the people in your market or your community see a single thing you do. And like normally you think about it opposite. You think about like, oh my gosh, this is the 3rd email I've sent out this week. This is the 4th ad I've created. Did I post too many times? Am I annoying my audience? They think about it the exact opposite. They think about it in a way that just assume nobody saw anything and then just keep going at that pace. I thought that was such good advice. But anyway, so on the paid side of things, where the real magic happens is when you're able to get multiple streams of income from a single paid source. So for example, the most successful boutiques that are using Facebook ads right now are creating a post. They're putting a post up on their Facebook page. They're letting that post gather some interest, gather some comments, gather some likes. And then they go back into Ad Manager and they drive paid traffic back to that post. And the way we think about this is we're investing in that creative asset. We're investing money in a creative asset that will live on beyond the ad campaign. And so let me walk you through this. So we create a post for our country music festival collection, right? So we have a post. Our country music festival collection is dropping next week, and we create a post for that. We go into ad manager in Facebook and Instagram. We create an ad for that. We drive a bunch of traffic towards that post. People jump on there, they like it, they comment, they ask questions about it. And all of that traffic that's stored in that post itself is accumulated while we're spending money on that ad. Now, eventually, we're going to turn that ad off, but all of that engagement stays on that post forever. And so if somebody comes back and says, man, I wonder if, Sand and Charcoal, I wonder if they really know about country music festivals. Well, they see that post and there's all this third-party evidence that lives there for good. So you don't just lose out on all the engagement that you gathered off that ad. You're investing back in that creative asset. And so that's where we see the biggest returns come. We have relationships with all levels of boutiques. Boutiques that are brand spanking new, we see those boutiques jumping into Retail Boot Camp and jumping into Boutique Cut Black, and they're like, go get them. You can't stop them. They are full force ahead. They're going for it. And they do really, really well. And then we see the opposite side. We see boutiques that have been in business for 15 years that are, on track to do millions of dollars of sales. And the whole spectrum, no matter where they fall, the success in all levels of those boutiques are coming from a very, very, very similar style of ad campaign. And so I do just want to walk through, I do want to walk through just a little bit of high level Facebook, Instagram ad strategy that's working. So if you are working with an agency now, if you're working with an agency now, or if you're running your own ads now, just compare, or you're thinking about getting into ads, just compare with, what this structure kind of looks like. This slide's actually incorrect. But anyway, so this is it here. Okay, so here, Facebook and Instagram have a structure called Advantage Plus. And before, we would go into Facebook and Instagram ad manager, and we would try and target our people. We would say, we want women between the ages of 18 and 35 that live in Oklahoma, that are also interested in OSU, that are interested in this brand and that brand, and and have been on our page before. And we would try and do our best at targeting our audience as specifically as possible. If you add up all of those targeting metrics that Facebook allows us to control, it comes out to be about 480 total targeting metrics. Like there's 480 different points that we can target an individual person. Now, Facebook launched this type of campaign called Advantage Plus that you see listed here. And Advantage Plus utilizes over 40,000 points of data on every single Facebook user, including, and don't get scared by this, but including what that person talks about to their family or in the car or whatever on their phone. And so the Advantage Plus advantage is so massive that you can't, it's hard to get your head around the advantage that it gives you. And so I would implore you, if you're running ads, if you're thinking about running ads, if you have an agency, talk to them, think about Advantage Plus. We have inside of Boutique Cut Black, we have a boutique that's in here, and her husband happens to work for Facebook Ad Manager. And he talks about this to me. And he says, the speed at which we can track data and the speed at which we can design audiences is so fast, you just there's no point in doing it any other way. So anyway, so this campaign here, these are Advantage Plus ad campaigns where you allow Facebook to target your audience for you. And then all you have to do is link up the post that you posted. So you go post your favorite country music festival collection, And then you go back in here, you create an Advantage Plus, and then all you have to do is hook that up to the creative and send that to your country music festival collection page. And these are the sort of returns we're seeing. 14.1 to 2, 16.85 to 1, 12.5 to 1, 12.43 to 1, 12.11 to 1, 15 to 1. Think about if every dollar you can invest on an advertising campaign, you made 16 in return. You would bet this would allow you to have complete control of the throttle, complete control of your traffic. And in my mind, this is where my expertise is. And so in my mind, I turn to this. like a lot of times I think, oh, well, yeah, let's go do this. And so the opportunity in Facebook Advantage Plus for the boutique space right now is really, really good. I mean, it's really good. And inside Retail Bootcamp, we go through so much of the base of this. So like if you wanted to like make sure that your mindset and your page and your content strategy and your 6 layers of lasagna are all ready to put in the oven, like that, like that's what Retail Bootcamp does, is it gets you ready for like this sort of success. And as a matter of fact, this ad account right here is an X. You get lifetime access to retail, but there's no such thing as an X member, is there? And so like she was a Retail Bootcamp student before she joined Boutique of Black. But this sort of strategy is so promising and so exciting that that's kind of the setup. But don't be scared. Don't be scared about all of the data that Facebook has allowed to help you target. Don't look at it as an invasion of privacy. It's all encrypted data. Nobody has access to it in the world except for Facebook, and they allow us to use it to target our ideal customer faster than ever.
Tavia, you win the chat award right now with that lasagna drop. Thank you for that. We joke about that because those of you who are in bootcamp, we talk about the 6 layers of building your retail business, right? And Jeff calls them the 6 layers of lasagna, which makes it memorable. But let's talk about the reason behind that, Jeff, because I think this is really critical. Anyone could start to run Facebook ads, right? And this is, I think, where Retail Bootcamp really started was, I want to run Facebook ads. I need more traffic. And that's fine and great. We can teach you how to do that. But I feel like the most successful retailers we see running paid traffic, you have to have all these other pieces in place first. Like there's no reason to run traffic if you aren't paying yourself, if you don't know how to price your products, if you haven't nailed your ideal customer, if you have an underutilized and unoptimized team, if
you haven't identified what creative type converts the best, if you don't know which page of yours converts the best, if you don't know what type of shopper you have, if it's a 7-day shopper, a 30-day shopper, or a once-a-year shopper, like you have to figure all those things out first. And that's what allows rapid acceleration, is laying all those things down first.
Right. So I don't have a slide on this, but just I'll verbalize it to you guys. Back to the 6 layers of lasagna. We're just going to call it that forever. And that's kind of how everything, whether you're a member at the hub or in Retail Bootcamp, this is how I look at it. So jot this in your notes, but it starts with your foundation layer is knowing your customer and your brand, which if there's one thing that is the most critical, and we heard this at the Boutique Summit last week, again and again and again and again, it's your brand. What is your brand? And like Sara said, you're not a cheap, affordable, online, trendy boutique. Like that is not a brand that is sticking right now. And it doesn't make you different than anybody else. So what is your brand? What makes you different? So foundation layer is your brand, your CEO versus entrepreneur mindset. So what's your productivity? What's your leadership? How are you running your business like a CEO, not a hustling entrepreneur, which we're going to talk about on day 3 here. And your operation strategy. That's all like the foundation. We have to keep building that. Then we get into products and profit is layer 2. Layer 3 is about team, building your team, optimizing your team. Layer 4 is about sales strategy. So whether that's e-commerce or it's merchandising in your brick and mortar, or it's training your staff on the perfect sales process. That's layer 4. Layer 5 is content planning. So we're doing that 3-month window like I talked about, but then we're also analyzing and tracking the performance of that content. That's layer 5. And then all the things we've talked about in terms of marketing today, organic and paid traffic, that's layer 6, that's on the top. So you can imagine with your business, like if we only started to build on the top, it'd get pretty top heavy and what would happen? It'd crumble, right? You build a skyscraper that's going to crumble because we haven't really built a solid foundation. So that's the entire idea of what we're trying to do, whether it's in membership or in Boutique Hub Black, all those pieces.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Jeff.
Okay, so then I touched on this already, but and I jumped ahead earlier. Apparently, I didn't know the order of my slides very well. But yeah, but big surprise to everyone, I'm sure. And so anyway, I just want to make sure that if you're a brick and mortar store, and I just saw this comment in the chat, if you're a brick and mortar store, nothing outdoes, and you want feet through your door, and you have a big enough market, like I'm talking about a city that, you know, there's people that don't know who you are. Nothing outperforms Google local traffic ads and the conversions on those events. 67% of all local shoppers find new retailers, new boutiques, a boutique near me, a women's fashion store near me, a jewelry store near me, a home and gift store near me. They find those on Google. Those sort of relationships start on Google, and you just cannot replace Google's ability to help people discover your brick and mortar store. Okay. This slide here. So there is Google Ads. Like there's Google Ads. There's the opportunity to run Google Ads. Those are paid traffic sources, but there are some steps that you can take to elevate your local traffic from Google organically without a cost. And so these are pretty simple. And just inside your Google My Business profile, like when you Google your brick and mortar store, make sure that all your information's updated. Make sure that you go in there and update your hours as holidays come and go. So like if you're off on a Monday, make sure you go in there and update and then go back and change it back. Google likes to see that maintenance. Google they really like to see you maintaining your account. So they kind of give you props for that. Add photos to your Google My Business listing consistently. If you get a new collection, if you start carrying a new designer, if you get a new line of sofas, if you have this new candle that supposedly smells like the rainforest, which is like going crazy, I guess. Anyway, so like if you get those sort of things in your store, make sure you go in there and add those photos to your Google My Business profile. Believe it or not, Google My Business considers themselves a social media platform. We don't think that. Nobody thinks that, but Google does. And so they expect you to treat your Google My Business like social media. Fill out your entire business description. Make sure that you get as much, every single line filled out. And then make sure that if you're a boutique or a clothing store, make sure you select one of those two categories. Do not put retail. If somebody goes in and they type in boutique near me, you want to be in that category. And that's the #1 search, by the way. If you're a boutique, women search boutique near me. They travel to another city. They get to their hotel. They have some downtime on a Saturday afternoon, and they want to go shop. They Google boutique near me. And you should be able to own that space. It's unbelievably affordable. And typically these ad accounts like this, they start out at $5 a day. Google's unbelievably affordable. But anyway, these are the strategies you can do to make sure that you show up organically for as much Google local foot traffic as you can.
Awesome. All right. That was a fire hose of information. Day one. How you guys feeling? Whew. You can breathe now. Jeff and Ashley are going to stop talking for a minute. Hopefully you guys have a page of notes or a couple pages of notes. And to me, I feel like that's kind of the tip of the iceberg of what we love to talk about. But we wanted to come like, what is the most impactful for you right now when it comes to traffic? And that's what we really wanted to get into the heart of today. Tomorrow, Sara, I know you're going to be the fire hose tomorrow. Do you want to give us a preview of what's to come tomorrow?
I'll try not to be the fire hose tomorrow, but yeah, so I'll just go back. We kind of talked about these 6 layers, and so often I would love to see you guys raise a hand or in the chat, thumbs up. How many times have you been served an ad and you've fallen in love with the ad? You're thinking, that's exactly what I want. You jump over, you take the time, you click over, you land on the page, you land on the site, only to find it's sold out. and you're like, well, crap, that didn't work out. I can't get it, you know? So we want to talk about that inventory. We have got to have an inventory on hand to support the traffic we're driving to our store. Because like Jeff showed at the beginning, and we're looking into these analytics and we're seeing, oh my gosh, they spent 38 seconds on my website. Yeah, I spend less time on your website if I am served an ad and I jump over there and what I wanted is no longer available. It's out of stock. It's not in my size. So I typically don't like start digging through other things. So there's a huge discussion about sell-through, replenishment. Everybody wants to know, how much inventory do I need to have on hand? How much inventory should I have on hand when I start my store? How much inventory do I need to reinvest from my sales? All those things. So we're diving into that tomorrow. So I'm pretty excited about it. We're going to go through some of the, we go into retail equations, financial equations, inventory equations in Retail Bootcamp in depth. We're touching on 5 of the biggest ones tomorrow. So giving you guys a little bit of a place to grow from as you're really tackling this time this summer. And I just want to reiterate, today in retail or in summer school, as we're prepping for the busy times, I know some of you guys, I saw some of you guys are resort towns and you guys are really busy. And I love that you guys showed up today and are putting in the work, even though I know you're busy with customers and all the things. But the work we're doing today is what's going to make us successful in the next 2 quarters to come when retail or when customers are really out there shopping. So all of these things, get your team involved, make some of these decisions, map out some of these plans, identify some of these areas in your business that you want to really capitalize on now, so that in the next few months, it's not so stressful and you're going to reap the rewards of this extra effort you're putting in now. So kudos to you guys for showing up. But yeah, tomorrow, dollar bills and inventory and all the things. Excited about it.
It's not about knowing your numbers. It's about knowing your money. And I love that. So we're going to deep dive into all that tomorrow. And then on day 3, we're going to wrap it up with, okay, this is a lot of information. How do we tie it all together as the CEO of your business? How do you get more done in a week? We're going to talk about productivity and mindset and the difference between being a hustling entrepreneur and an effective CEO leading your business forward. So lots more to come. But I certainly wanted to dive into Q&A today. We're going to do that in just a minute. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and raise your hand. You can drop it in chat. Before we get there, though, this is Retail Bootcamp season. There's 2 seasons of Retail Bootcamp every year, once in January and then again in June and July, because again, athletes train in the off season. This is how we get prepared for the busiest time of the year. And this is how we put all these things into action and how you have an opportunity to coach with Jeff and with Sara and with myself and about 50 guest experts throughout Retail Bootcamp, which is about a 14-week season or semester that we spend together. And again, I know many of you here are already a part of it, and you also have Boutique of Black questions. I will get to those in just a second too. But real quick, when it comes to Retail Bootcamp, so we are starting enrollment right now. We will start coaching Retail Bootcamp again, whether you're a new student or you've been here in the past, you have lifetime access to do it again and again and again. That will start the first week of July, after the 4th of July. Orientation is July 8th. So for 14 weeks, Sara and I, every single Wednesday, will be live coaching on all those 6 layers we talked about, all the way through traffic. And then every Thursday, we have guest experts that join us to go even deeper on whatever that particular topic is. And those guests change every single semester in bootcamp. And then we put a bow on it. We all come together. We have a retreat that we host in LA in September, where we get to go do some shopping. We'll do some strategizing. We'll do some networking, roundtables, and kind of give that final Q&A opportunity to dig deep into making sure you've got all of this and how to put it into action in your business. So all kinds of things inside of Retail Bootcamp. And again, lifetime access. You can log in immediately to get started, or you can then go through those weekly sessions with Sara and I as we go. So enrollment for bootcamp does open today. You guys can scan this QR code, or you're going to see links all over the place. I would encourage you, just because you guys are here for bootcamp, we did not do this for anyone else on social media, so only you guys have access to it. But when you enroll by Friday and you have been a part of summer school, you have a free version of our Ultimate Small Business Hiring Bundle coming your way, and that's interview questions and onboarding checklists and meeting guidelines and job descriptions and all the things to help you grow and optimize your team. Jeff's going to pull his top 3 Boutique Hub Black lessons on ads, and he's going to throw those into boot camp for you as well. And then we're going to knock $100 off of retail boot camp, which is $19.97, or does have a 4-part payment plan. And again, I think we've done retail boot camp, Sarah, since what year? When did we start? 2017, 2018?
18, yeah.
When we first
Mhm.
started. We've never changed the price. And we've always given lifetime access. So we have people who have gone through this like 7, 8 times. And we try to build this in a way where it's so in depth. Like today, we try to kind of give a nugget for everyone, no matter what level you're at. Because we know every semester when you come back, your business is going to be different. And you're going to find a new nugget to find and implement. It's not, I don't want to say it's not possible, but it's not likely that you would go through boot camp in one semester and absolutely get it all and implement it all. Can I get an amen from everyone here who's a past student? It's not going to happen. You're going to pick one thing, hopefully one thing per layer, and implement that one thing and then continue to grow. So that's Retail Bootcamp. You guys grab this code. Again, you'll find a link, but you guys have bonuses to enroll by Friday. If you have already gone through Retail Bootcamp, this would be my suggestion. Boutique Hub Black is kind of our next step. And I don't say that like definitely. We have some, larger boutiques who are in Boutique Hub Black that maybe didn't go through Retail Bootcamp, but I would highly suggest Bootcamp first, for the sole fact that it's really hard for Jeff to teach you how to run ads and run traffic if you don't have a good website and you don't have a great content plan and your brand is all over the board. If those things aren't done and buckled up first, it's hard to make Boutique Hub Black and ads and traffic successful for you. So I would highly encourage you to do that in that order. Otherwise, I feel like it's pretty easy to burn money in this business. And that is certainly not what we want to see for you guys. We want to see you be successful for the long term. That is the name of the game for us, is to change lives and to change businesses. So if you guys have questions on either of those, Bootcamp or Boutique Hub Black, you can drop them in chat. Otherwise, I want to get into some overall Q&A right now. So I see lots of hands up. I gotta move my things around on my screen so I can see names. What do we got going on here? Jamie Groenfield. I see your hand up. I don't see your face, but Jamie, can we hear from you? Jamie, are you there? All right, we'll go on. Jenna Carpin.
Hi guys. I had a question with the Advantage Plus audience that Jeff was talking about. Is that working best for engagement ads or conversion ads?
Conversion, sales, objective of sales.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
As a matter of fact, engagement ads, with the advantage of Advantage Plus, you're able to gather just as much engagement as you would on an engagement ad, but also then get just enough sales to pay for that ad campaign. So it becomes a self-liquidating funnel. So just keep that in mind. Even if you're going after engagement, like video views or comments, you could set it up as an Advantage Plus sales campaign and it'll pay for itself. Just FYI.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Sarah, do you want to call in the ones in the chat? I see a bunch of questions in there. I want to make sure we get those called on as well.
Sure. Yep. I'm trying to jump in and answer some of them too. I see Elizabeth, who said, how do I know if I'm ready for boot camp? I was just typing you back. I've been in business for under a year. If anybody's interested in wanting to chat with me about it, please just drop me a message. You Facebook message me. I'm happy to answer any questions and chat with you about your unique situation. But if you've been in business for a little bit now, you're trying to capture your customers, you're trying to source products, you have money coming in and out of your business, I think it's a great time for you to jump into Retail Bootcamp. We have stores that are using their business as like a side income. We have stores that are using it as their main source of income. We have stores that are just getting started, and we have stores that have been in the business for 30 years that have started the course. It literally is a roadmap for all different types of businesses: home decor, specialty, ladies apparel, pets, coffee shops. We're in Wisconsin, right? We've had some cheese and wine stores join too as well. But really, I feel like you're gonna find what you're looking for inside Retail Bootcamp, no matter what type of store you have. So Elizabeth, if you have some specific questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm going to drop my email address for you. All you guys, it's just Sara, SARA @theboutiquehub.com.
Awesome. Dolores, I see your question in the chat. She says, I have an online boutique and want to know how to find those customers that are willing to pay your prices. This is in regard to the average order value that we discussed and not to have low prices. I find most will shop with me when my prices are low, but it slows down when there's not a sale or a discount offered. Sara, I know you can jump in on this as well, but let me just start with this, Dolores. I would go back and really dig into your brand and the customer that you want to serve. So I think the very slippery slope for us when we start to compete on price or affordability is, and I think this is truly referenced when you look at boutiques, or I'm sorry, when you look at Walmart versus Target. What do you notice about the difference in shopping at Walmart versus shopping at Target? When you shop at Target, you see a lot of people buying based on impulse, right? Higher priced items. The store feels different. It's merchandised, it's clean, it's bright, it's trendy. I find myself willing to pay a little bit more when I go to Target because it's the experience and it's me feeling like I'm going up a level in my style when I shop there, right? Like, oh, I'm going to be a better version of this Pinterest mom that I think I need to be in my head when I shop at Target. Versus when I go to Walmart, I actually just went to Walmart last night with my son. And oh God, Jesse Jarvis isn't on here, but I slipped on a pair of Crocs and sweatpants and I was like, girls, I'm going to Walmart. See ya. It was a totally different experience. I'm like, get in, get out, get a coupon, get it cheap and get it fast. Different experience than going to Target, right? Is anyone with me? Or you're like, she just say she put on Crocs? I think she did. So the point is, when I go to Walmart, I go there because it's cheap and it's fast. When I go to Target, I go there because it's an experience and I feel like I'm up leveling my style. One of them's loyal and one of them's not. Cheap ain't loyal. Walmart shoppers are loyal to a price. And that's a tough market to be in today with Shein and Temu and all of these other things that are popping up. If you want to compete on price, how do you beat some of those people? That's not the game I would want to play. So in reference to, okay, how do I transition out of that? I would say, all right, now we've got to focus on building a brand. So what's your brand guide? What's your colors? What's your fonts? What's your brand voice? Who's your ideal customers? What's your merchandising? What's your photography? Are you a central part of your brand? Are you building the voice and the value and their relationship in the community? Are you central to that conversation? Do they shop with you because they like you? And they're like, man, I trust Dolores. Whatever Dolores has to offer, I want to know. She knows all about the trends. She knows all about the style. She knows all about these things. Or did Dolores get stuck just offering a product at a price versus a community and a relationship and an experience? That seems to be a big teeter-totter. And then when you start to price for profit, you can say, all right, if I'm going to up my price to this level, the value of my marketing, my brand has to be elevated to that same price. If my marketing and my brand are here, my price is justified down here. And it's hard to go up from that point. So you've got to go back to your brand and your value to be able to increase that price. And then those customers will follow you. Yeah. And then it won't take a sale to make that happen. Right, Sara?
I'll just, 100%. And I'll add one other thing. Yes. And we talk about this a lot inside Retail Bootcamp, but Dolores and everybody listening, there's many different types of customers. And the truth is we cannot survive with just one type. There's a time and a place. I say there's a season for everything, just like in life. There is a season that we have got to get rid of the leftovers. So we need those sale-driven customers to come through the door. We want to love and have them be loyal, sale-driven customers, right? We also need those, what I call UPS chasers, the ones that like are chasing down the UPS truck. As soon as that newness is there, they're there. They want it as soon as we rip it out of the box, because in their world, they're happiest when they're the first to get it, right? Then you have the middle of the road customers too, that are like, well, I want to test the waters. I want to make sure somebody else has validated it, that it's popular, all of those kind of things. I might want a little bit of a coupon or use a discount of some sort, but I know I want it. I need it. Quality is important to me. There's lots of different customers that we have to cater to, but when we make our stuff look like a discount place in our merchandising on a one long bar rack and everything's on there mismatched, we're not any different than a TJ Maxx. Our customers cannot decipher whether that's supposed to be on sale or just look like it's supposed to be on sale. So they're going to assume it's messy or it's all mismatched. So it should be discounted. So that's where Ashley was talking about with the merchandising. And I get super excited about talking about the presentation of things right? And how it appears to us. And Ashley talked about, I talk a lot of analogies. Look at a buffet, right? If you walk into a buffet at a restaurant and the food is all messed up and it's not presented nicely, does that make you want to dive in and get it? No, it kind of makes you want to be like, eeks, how many people have touched that? How long has it been there? That doesn't look very good. And you're not going to eat it, right? Now, if it's a beautiful charcuterie board before anybody's touched it, yeah, you want to be the first one to get it. The last person at the charcuterie board, no, thank you. I'm not interested. So, but all of those things to say, Dolores, if you have a product you're proud of, make sure everybody knows you're proud of it. The prices should show you're proud of it. The merchandising should show you're proud of it. The lighting should show you're proud of it. Your staff should know you're proud of it. Your marketing, all of those things. If you have a product you don't care about anymore, they will know you don't care about it.
So helpful. All right. So crazy too. I see your question. I'm going to go back so you can grab this. She asked if I could go back for this QR code. So I'm going to save this screen here for you for just a minute. And let's go to HP's Poshmark PC. You're up if you got a question.
Oh, yes. I'm a longtime watcher, first time caller. I feel like I'm on a hotline.
This is a hotline. Let's hear your problems. Let's go.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm waiting for you to come visit my store in Winona.
Oh, yay. I will. That's amazing.
So, okay, so we're talking about these Google ads. Where do they come up? Because they say, oh, you have a credit for $500 for a Google ad and I want to use it. But, you know, when we're on Facebook, we know where the Facebook ads come up. When we're on Instagram, we know where the Instagram ads come up. But where do the Google ads come up?
Yeah, so Google ads are different. Facebook and Instagram would be considered what they call interruption marketing. So you're interrupting somebody's scrolling through the feed. Google is intent-based marketing. And so you're waiting for somebody to search a Winona boutique. Or they're in that area and they search boutique near me, and then it will populate at the top of the search results or the top of the map results. And so they either show on maps or search.
Got it. Okay. I was like, where do they see these?
Yeah.
Mystical ads?
Yeah. So for example, say I was in your area and I searched boutique near me. If nobody else is bidding on that term, you would show up first right there in the search result.
Got it. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. I'll see you soon, Ashley.
Hey, send me an email. I want to know more about your store so I can stop by. I love that. All right, Morgan Peters, I see your question in the chat, and this is an important question for everybody. She says, how do I identify my customers' problems? Home and gift store here. So one of the very first things we do together inside of Retail Bootcamp, and we do this each semester, and I would suggest that you do it twice a year as well, is we run surveys. So you're always changing as an individual, right? Your tastes are changing, your problems and needs are changing, and so are your customers. And so we do a whole survey section together as the first part of boot camp. So we can double down on, well, who's your customer following on social? Where are they shopping? What are the obstacles? What are the fears? What are the frustrations? Where are they going? What are they buying for? What do they like? What do they not like? There's so many different questions, but we'll go through that process together so that we can make sure we're always fine-tuning our brand to truly solve those customers' problems. But no matter what you sell, I mean, everyone has the same opportunity to run those surveys, and they're really, really valuable. Or Instagram stories on a daily basis or Facebook groups on a daily basis can also be helpful in those. All right, couple more questions before we go. Val, I see your hand up.
Good morning. How are y'all? I had a couple of questions for Jeff. So Jeff, if I was going to do the Google ads that you talked about to get more in the maps, to get more traffic into my brick and mortar, where do I go to find that to be able to launch that ad?
Yeah,
And
so
the second question is, how often do I need to check my GA so that I'm not driving myself absolutely nuts?
and so let's start at the end. Let's start with GA4 first.
Okay, because I might need that one most.
Yeah. Yeah. So Google Analytics 4, I really encourage everybody to check those metrics every week and do them on the same day, 8 a.m. Friday, put it on your calendar and just schedule it like a meeting with yourself and jump
Okay.
in there and check. Like you wouldn't try and drive to Yellowstone and only check your speedometer the moment you left and then right before you got there. So
Okay, right.
it's got to be consistent. And as far as Google ads go, you can just literally type in Google ads. I heard somebody else bring this up. If you're creating a Google ads account for the first time, right now, Google does have a $500 ad credit that you can launch with. And so just FYI.
So just search Google Ads and then it will show me specifically which one, or it'll give me some kind of, parameters, so I'll know which one to get that traffic in my store, like you were talking about.
No, it does not walk you through how to do it. If I'll tell you what, I was going to load free top boutique hub black lessons as part of if you sign up for RBC today or during this semester. I'll make sure. I know there's a big need for foot traffic in brick and mortar stores right now. We'll make that one of the 3 lessons, or maybe we'll add a 4th. Who knows? Maybe we'll get really excited. Yeah, but I'll make sure that one's in there for you guys. We already have it filmed. It's all done. And so we'll just make that as one of the perks, and that'll walk you through step by step. But Google does not walk you through it step by step. It's in their best interest for you to flail around a little and burn through that ad credit really fast, so that you have to put the rest on your credit card. So they don't teach you how to optimize right off the bat. None of the platforms do. That's my job.
Those 3 trainings, are those going to be available for current RBC students too, or just the new enrollees?
Geez, Louise, sure. We'll make them available for RBC students.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. We're right at 11:30. And I want to be respectful of your guys' time. I see 2 more hands up. If you can make them short and sweet, we've got 1 minute to do just a final question. Marlene.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Okay, 2 questions for Jeff, one about RBC. Jeff, I had some issues. Google actually took down my listing. I've put it back up. I believe the G4, when I go to search for my Google, I can't see it, but I saw it on my husband's phone and I've added some stuff to it, but I don't know if it's correct. I don't know what's going. Like I said, I had something happen and Google actually took it down because of it. It was a harassment thing. So they took it down to save me, actually. And I need some help with this Google listing because I don't see it. Like I said, I saw it on my husband's page. It's a brand new listing. So I lost all my reviews. So I can ask my customers to do that. I'm like starting all over from day one on everything. And every social media is starting brand new all over again. Here I am at 61 years old, and I've started this business 8 years ago, and I'm starting all over again. So you're never too old. That's one. Jeff, but I need some help with this. Can I message you and maybe you can help me walk through some steps?
That would kind of be like a one-on-one sort of thing. But yeah, that's kind of account recovery is one of
it's recovered. My account's I have an account there.
Yeah.
I just don't know if everything is right.
Shoot me a message, Marlene. We'll get it. We'll
okay. I just want to make sure that's right. Jeff, the other question was again about since I'm kind of starting all over again, would it be good to have a Google ad or a Facebook ad? It'd have to be one or the other. I'm trying to drive traffic online. The store I'm not worried about. The traffic needs to drive online. My online died because I had to take everything down.
Yeah, so I would start with Facebook and Instagram for sure for online sales.
And then RBC, anything new? Like, are we going to get notices when we need to order the notebook? Because I'm sure it's new. Whatever you want, all the information.
Yeah, so good question. So if you had the workbook from January, same workbook.
I don't have the workbook from January. I have one the year before, so I do need it.
So if you go into the retail bootcamp group, all of that should be pinned in the top of the retail bootcamp group. So,
Okay.
I've
And
got,
if we have a question, do we message somebody, or do we like, this is where I get confused with the boutique hub, like, or do I email like Beth or somebody like that?
we would prefer you keep it in the groups, only because
Okay.
our team's messages get completely bombarded and there's
I'm
not
asking.
time for a lot of one-on-one coaching. So put it in the groups. That's the best way that all of us can come in
And then
say,
they can just point me right to where I need to go to click on.
yep,
Thank you,
absolutely.
because I'm computer illiterate here. So thank you very much. Have a great day. I'm glad to be back to this, and I will be at boot camp.
Awesome.
Fine.
All right. Dina, are you there? Dina, do you have a quick question? Dina, are you still there? All right, well, we'll wrap with that then, you guys. All right, tomorrow, same link, same time, 10 a.m. Central Time. We'll be back here. We'll start with some takeaways and some homework from day one. So if you did your boutique traffic formula, bring that back tomorrow. I would love to hear from you and hear what you learned, what you implemented. We'll deep dive again into inventory and financials, all those numbers tomorrow. And we're gonna wrap up on Wednesday. We will send out the replay only to those of you who are here, right, who signed up for summer school, and we'll include those couple of extra links that we talked about a little bit ago. And again, Retail Bootcamp, those fast acting bonuses end on Friday. So you should have the link. If you have any questions, drop it in our groups or message the team. We can try to help on that front. And then Jeff had his Boutique Hub Black for those of you who are outside or you've been through Retail Bootcamp already, and you want to talk to Jeff, more information there as well. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks to our hub team for helping. Thank all of you for showing up today. It's always so good to see you and to be back. We just are blessed to have this opportunity. Let me tell you that. We love what we get to do, and to see you guys put some action into your business and see some results. So thanks for allowing us the chance to do that for you guys. Good to see you. We'll see you back here tomorrow, guys.
Guys, see you tomorrow.